How would you describe? I mean, you've played for over 20 years. How would you describe the Soudal Open? How would you, the experience of playing it, obviously on home soil? What does it represent to you?
Well, I think it's not just us, but anyone that gets to play a DP World Tour event on home soil is something special. I mean, you stay at home, you play on courses that you are in a familiar environment, you play in front of friends, and it's definitely a place where you like to shine, not just for yourself, but for the people that have supported you over the years. And I think the team has done an incredible job at making the Soudal Open a place that players like to come and play for various reasons. I think number one is the course. We're in 2024. The golf, the professional golf environment has changed a lot, and Rinkven is not your typical golf course. We don't really play old school golf courses like this anymore, and I think that's one of the things that players like, is that the challenge is different. It's got a very family vibe. The driving range is right there, the clubhouse is there. It's the package of the tournament is something that we don't come across regularly anymore on tour, and I think that's why it's successful amongst players.
Well, that's really great to hear. As you know, we've announced a very special person to come and play as an attraction this year. That's Luke Donald. You're quite close to Luke. So, what is there anything that you can tell us about Luke Donald that we don't know? I mean, obviously, Luke has never played in Belgium. So, what can you kind of say about Luke?
What can I say about Luke? Well, I don't know how long we got. I got to know Luke a little better. We know each other a long time. We've crossed paths a little bit in amateur days, so this is like plus 20 years ago. But yeah, of course, being involved with him last year heavily with the Ryder Cup stuff has made me understand the person a lot more. And he's a person that's plenty of surprises, because he's on one hand, he is extremely artistic in his own way. Like, he loves art, he loves painting and all that kind of stuff. And at the other hand, he's extremely driven when it comes to, his golf and his career and the way that he's involved himself, or his level of involvement with the Ryder Cup. He's a very interesting character. I think he's extremely good company. He's very kind, and he has a very different understanding of this game. Like, when you're, let's not forget that Luke got to world number one with probably a different set of skills that most number one player in the world have had in the past. So that's somebody here that had to find his own way of doing things, and he's done incredibly well at this. So I think that's one of his biggest qualities, is he's actually has had the belief and backed himself that he wasn't your regular golfer and still made it to the top of the game, which is quite an achievement and something to be quite, or to have the respect.
What are Nicolas Colsaerts' priorities today?
What are my priorities? Number one priority is to be happy, which has not necessarily been the case the last couple of years for many different reasons. But my priorities is to, look after my family, to understand where I want to go and where I want to be in life. It sounds cliche, but people tell you this from the beginning. It's like, have a plan and just make sure you're happy and you're healthy and all that kind of stuff. And you only realize how important that is when you get to my age, and you take it for granted. I mean, I've been extremely lucky to have lived a free-spirited life and be taken left and right, because of the nature of the work and the professional environment I was in. But I really do understand fully now that there's still a little bit of work that needs to be done personally to make sure that you're heading the right direction and you are where you want to be, and certainly not take things for granted. Yeah.
And golfing wise, I mean, you're obviously keen to go, huh?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, golf is always the thing that I think the most about during any day, and it has been the same thing since I'm 6 years old, and it's probably always going to be something that occupies the majority of my time during the day, just because I have this in my blood and it's what I've always done and it's probably what I love the most. So yeah, I don't necessarily see the job and see the sport the same way that I used to when I was, just 200% driven in it, and just because life takes you some different direction in different places. So I think it's only normal that my relationship with the game and the profession has changed a little bit over the years. But I can guarantee you that wherever I see a pin 5 from the right, I still want to go for it. So yeah, the fire is still there.
Very good. And you've played a few events already this year, and you're going to be playing many more events, we hope, in the current year. Currently, fans cannot see your ranking on the DP World Tour rankings on the race to Dubai, but there is a ranking, I believe. Can you explain how that works? You're obviously trying to build up as many points as possible, but how does that work?
Well, it's very simple actually. It's anybody can take membership, or at least I've taken membership. And the only reason why I'm not in the rankings is because I don't hold a category. So I am a member of the European Tour. I still collect points on the DP World Tour, but I don't feature on the ranking at the moment. But once you make it to a certain level of points, then your name appears on the ranking. It's just a way of communicating. Race to Dubai points that has changed over the years, but the fact that I'm not in the ranking does not mean that I don't collect points. And I know there's been some false information going around that I never took membership this season. Think about it. I've been a loyal member of the European Tour for 25 years. Do you really think that I'm not going to take membership out of the blue like that without telling anyone? Come on, people, think about it.
No, absolutely. But it's obviously people are asking because they can't see you around. But we're certainly looking forward to seeing your name back on the rankings, and we're sure that's going to happen. And until then, we're really looking forward to seeing you back in Belgium. I know that the job takes you all over the world, but having you back in Belgium will always be very, very special. So we'll see you in May.